just a prolific offense. You guys led the league in scoring, and then the earlier exit than you wanted in the playoffs. Have you had time to reflect on the season and what needs to happen next year to get back in it and get over the hump?
You're still kind of doing that. I think you know what went wrong or went right, and there's certain things you'd like to fix and clean up, and we will. You're still early in the off season, but a lot of work to be done, and I'm excited for some of the new guys on the staff and where we can go from here.
Yeah, you mentioned that staff. You're new to it. When you have success, what happens? Everybody wants a piece of that success.
That's right.
So, what are the Chicago Bears getting in Ben Johnson as a head coach?
Yeah, he's a hell of a coach. He's a guy that's made a ton of difference in my career, and I'm obviously a big fan of his. And I was joking with him. I wish he didn't have to be in our division, so I didn't have to try to beat him twice a year. But no, he's going to do a great job, and hopefully not too good though. With us being in the division together still. But I'll always be a fan of his, and we'll always have a good relationship.
And now his replacement, John Morton. What can you tell us about him? What have you guys talked about?
Yeah, we were together in 2022. He was an assistant on our staff, and has done it before, has been a coordinator before, has a lot of experience in our league, been around a lot of great coaches. I'm excited to work with him and see where we can go.
Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, canvas open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose what I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it, maybe. We just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me, it's never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning is crazy. Opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Oh, wait a minute.
Boom. There we go. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I did that whole setup thing right there, and I just want to welcome everybody to the Lion Villain Report. I am your host, Russell Wayne, and I am going to be here with you for the next hour or so. We're going to talk a little bit about Patrick Mahomes. Is he the GOAT? Is he the GOAT already? I know it's not it's the championship week. It is, and really the story here, Patrick Mahomes. We need to talk about that. We need to talk about what the roster is. We got some key terms that we want to go through for the off season right here, and we got the Super Bowl coming. We got the Super Bowl coming this week, and I know that here we are. None of us here got a Super Bowl. We're not going to get one this year. And it's mostly in part to do with this guy. What are you doing, Mr. Mahomes? Why you gotta do that? Why you gotta do us all like that? Like we keep on talking. And it's like dawn on me. It's not like I don't know that Patrick Mahomes is the champ, but it's like we do all this trash talking on here, and like all this hoopla stuff happens, and we get some guys, you get some guys, and we go through some division battles. We go in, Mahomes wins it, and then we do it all again. We load up, we get some new guys. The Bears get some coaches. The players change. Get into 2022, Mahomes wins it. And then we talk all this smack again. We give him great regular season. Here we go. All the way through. Boom. Here's Mahomes in the Super Bowl again. So, I mean, the cheat Pete. Oh man, I had to do the microphone check. I knew it when I turned it on. I was like, oh shoot, I didn't check and see if I switched it over to my Zoom machine. I got a podcasting machine over here. And I used to have this thing like on one of those arms where you have to like kind of put your face on it. And I found out that I really like just holding the mic better because I'm a singer and I'm just kind of used to holding the mic. So, yeah. So you guys can't hear me now. That's what you said. You're good, right? The microphone check, the cheat Pete. I don't believe, the thing is when teams win all the time, people, all those teams that lose want to say that they cheated. Now, I watched that game last week, and there was a couple of moments where I was just kind of like, wow, that was some home cooking, some plays. But I mean, I don't know. At the end of the day, you had chances. The whole game always comes down to a couple plays. You're talking 5-6 plays where you just got to be better on those plays. Well, I don't know. Mahomes seems to make those plays. Maybe he gets some calls that help that go longer. I don't know. But oh shoot, I forgot to do all the stuff here in the morning that I usually do right here. Right now we're broadcasting live into the Lions Villain Squad Facebook page, the Lions Villain Squad YouTube page, as well as Roku. We're on the Huddle Sports Network, along with the Detroit Lions News Podcast. That's with Joe Chap over there. And you can follow the page. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel. And that helps us get up there in that algorithm. That helps us get out there a little bit. And we appreciate it. Don't do that. Let's do a different song. Gosh, don't do that. That's not nice. That's not nice. I don't like that one either. How about this one? Boom. Let me know how you're feeling out there. Good morning, John. Good morning, Moonscar. Good morning, Davey. Thank you for calling. I'm starting to figure this stuff out. Russell Wayne started early. Yes, I wanted to start it early. I just had to get a couple of things ready. Is Russell Wayne already the GOAT? I don't know about that. You like that? I'm gonna keep working through this though, man. I'm getting better though. I'm starting to understand the flows a little bit and how to keep the things going and how to not get emotional over broski posts. That way I can stay on track. And but I think that Mahomes has a chance to do something great here. I'm probably in the minority of this. I rooted against Mahomes all the way through the playoffs, but now that he's here, I want him to get it done and over with. Get the three-peat out of the way. Do the three-peat. I really don't have any stock or any desire to have the Philadelphia Eagles win. Like, there's no significance to that. I mean, I really like Saquon Barkley. I like that he pays tribute to Barry Sanders, the greatest to ever do it, from the running back position. And I like Saquon Barkley as a player. I just don't like the Eagles at all. I wish they would. I mean, it's such a great player that he is. He couldn't have went to a worse team, and it sucks. And they got a chance to win it, man. I'm a hater. I'm an Eagles hater. I don't like that team. That entire division's starting to piss me off a lot because I had to eat some crow. I had to eat some crow because we started our off season early. Lions should have beat this team. And I'm not just a Ben Johnson hater here, but I was critical of Ben Johnson being a little too slick. You know, even in some of the wins, it's kind of like you're going out there, we're doing trick plays, we're running the score up on some of the people, doing a lot. And I'd made a comment during the season. I can't remember what game it was after, but it was like it seemed like sometimes he might out slick himself. Like, that was slick, but sometimes it seems like you're trying. Like, we have this team, and maybe, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but when I look at the Lions team, and you got Penei Sewell, you got Ragnow, you got these road grading beast offensive linemen, right? And I think that's the strength of the team. And it's like motion and trickery and stuff. I love that kind of stuff. But I also like just, hey, you see this hole right here? It's like, here's my offensive line. I'm going to run the ball right here. And you know what? I got Frank the Tank right here. And I got Zeitler here. And I got Sewell over here. And I'm going to run the ball right here. What the F are you going to do about it? Now, I like a good trick play, man. I think it's exciting watching Jameson Williams run in the other direction, and that's fun. But I also want to see my offensive lineman just go, right here, dude. I'm going to move you out of the way. Shut up. I don't care. I'm going off tackle. You want to know the play? We are going to outman you. And they can do that. They have the ability to do that. I was very proud. Let's rewind all the way back to the beginning of the season and then go to that Rams game. Just get this back and forth slugfest match. Goes to overtime. And the way the Lions played in that game is I wish they would just do it all the time. It was like, I'm running the football with David Montgomery in just 5-yard chunks. Run, 5 yards, run 7 yards, run 12, run, touchdown, game over, shut up. I got 2 words for you. I'm not going to say it. That's what I love about our offensive line and our team. And sometimes, and now I even feel better criticizing it because I didn't just criticize this because he's a Bear now. I criticized this during the middle of the season. But Ben Johnson sometimes will out-slick himself. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm saying that you got an offensive line where you can just like bulldoze people, and sometimes you should do that too. I am 100% convinced that the Lions win this game if they run the ball with Jahmyr Gibbs 25 times instead of 14. I'm 100% convinced we win that game. Just with ball control and getting the ball out of Jared Goff's hands, especially when he's struggling. Jahmyr Gibbs was not struggling. Goff was. And at that point, it's like, come on, man, run the ball. You weren't getting killed in the game. You were in the game. You had chances to get back in the game. So I want that to be the identity. I think that's how you beat a team like Mahomes. And the thing is I don't want to win division titles. I do want to win division titles. I think it's fun to make fun of the other teams because we're a big fish in a little pond. But at the end of the day, I want Brad Holmes to build a roster that wins the Super Bowl. And in order for the Lions to win the Super Bowl, you got to beat the GOAT, the refs, Vegas, and all of the other people that love Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes is that guy. It's like, not only is he great, but, he does have all those other things. It does seem like, you're not going to get too many calls that go against him. So when it comes to that, do you think that Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT? Is he the GOAT? I mean, is this close the book? Because I know that it's going to be really, really hard for somebody to get all of those championships like Brady did. That was a perfect storm of things. And maybe Mahomes is it for that. And God, that would suck for a lot of people. Because greatness buries greatness. And I'll tell you who is greatness is Josh Allen. So I don't want the Lions to be, because we are just now rising into relevancy. Just now. We're here. I think that we arrived early last year. Because I don't think that anybody thought they were going to go that far. But we've arrived into this relevancy. And we don't want to just beat the Packers, Bears, and Vikings. You want a team that can withstand the storm. So, and I'm definitely not worried about coaching at all anymore. With the hires that we made, we're fine in that spot. Honestly, it's really funny when we really started looking at this, because I didn't know a lot about David Shaw, until reports came out. I kind of broke it, and I didn't know as much about him. But the more and more I hear about this guy, the more I like it. The more I like it, almost to the point where, the Bears brought in Shaw to interview for their head coaching position. Dan Campbell got him as the passing game coordinator. And some might argue that he's more qualified to be the offensive coordinator than John Morton, which it don't matter. Really, you got two guys that are good offensive minds that are going to re-innovate the offense. And they were together, so they have rapport with each other, which is the most important thing when you're trying to install, new ideas with the same terminology, which is fun. That's fun. All right, let's look at some of the, I think I got a question here. And I love it when you address me. Why don't they go more technical equipment devices like they do tennis? Yeah, I agree with that, Daniel. I don't get it. I don't get it sometimes, where you got all of these things that at your disposal, all this technology, and it's like, oh no, we want to put humans in there, we like this element of error. Like, no, why would you want that? Really, like when you think, look at this delay of game thing, right? Well, the referees have discretion. It's like, why the hell do they have discretion? The clock hit 0 or it didn't. And I like the idea. I think the best idea for stuff like that, technology-wise, you put lights all the way through the goalpost that when the clock hits 0, that light goes off. And then you see if the ball was snapped before the lights go off. Delay of game. Get it right. Well, I really like the Baltimore Ravens, so I think I'm going to give them an extra, second and a half. It's my discretion, Who knows? 40 seconds, 41. Come on, man. It's like you got all this technology available to you. Get it right. Oh, man. Broski. Hey, Russ, with Antoine, Randall L., and Ben both on the Bears, does that make Jameson trade bait? Were they the reasons he wasn't traded? I don't know, man. That's a good thing. The awesome thing is, let's just go down this rabbit hole for a minute here, because I've heard a little bit about this. I listened to a couple people talk on. I might as well hit it. You know, I don't think they're going to trade Jameson Williams. And I wouldn't think they would trade Jameson Williams unless they got some kind of Tyreek Hill type of return. A first round pick with, you know, just to get the pick back that they used. I mean, I would think a 1 and a 2, 1 and a 1. I mean, you're about ready to get anyway. You look at it. If he plays for the Lions, he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver next year. And that's just based off, to me, as much opportunity as it is, you know, he's got this much skill. If he goes to the Bears and we trade him to the Bears, he's going to be a top 10 wide receiver. So, because he's got that thing that you can't teach. And I guess I would ask you, would you be willing to trade multiple ones for Jameson Williams? Because that's what it's going to take. You're going to have to give us 2 1s if you want that. And go ahead and laugh at me and tell me that that's too rich, and we'll go ahead and keep him. And then you're going to see why. But I don't think that you would deny that. That's what he would be worth at least. Trading a guy that you've gotten through. I mean, there were some immaturity issues with this kid, Broski. And you know it. Y'all made fun of us for it, whatever. But he's kind of worked through those. It was pretty good last year. You know, I mean, I don't care about taunting and all that. Because in the long term, you know, Tyreek Stevenson, you know, making those guys look really stupid on the sideline. Jameson hitting him in the head with like those type of things. I don't really care about 15 yards at the point, because that's in NFL lore now. You know, you don't get those too often. You know. So I ask you, Broski, what would you be willing to give for Jameson Williams to be a Bear? Because DJ Moore sure as hell ain't it. God, if I were you, I would be scared as hell with DJ Moore in there. With when you see your teammates check out, that is not a good attribute, man. Like, you need these guys that'll grind through no matter what. And I understand protecting your body and all that type of stuff, but there was no heart in that. And if I were you, I'd be worried about that part. You need some heart in there. I don't think that his time with the Bears is going to stay. I know that you guys just signed that contract, but yeah, you need that. But I don't know if they would trade Jameson. I think it would be dumb to trade Jameson. You drafted these guys for a reason. You have a plan. I mean, honestly, you just pick up the 5th-year option. I don't even think that we're worried about this right now. You know? You can get this kid at, you know, I think it's the lowest amount. I think you can get the 5th-year option on him is like $14 million. Let him play the shit out. I'm sorry. That's what I say. Because the talent's there. And especially if you pick up the 5th-year option, right? Let's say you pick up the 5th-year option on Jameson. You got to pay $15 million for that. But what that does, that gives you an entire new year here. You got a whole year in this offense. Another year. got over 1,000 yards, missing a couple games, man. This kid arrived last year. So, I mean, it was almost right on. I called at the beginning of the season. Ooh, I love saying these types of things, but I called Jameson Williams being over 1,000 yards, and it would be on a lower amount, but he would average 19 yards. I think he ended up averaging 17 yards. Getting it in chunks, man. But Jameson Williams puts a dynamic on this offense that makes the offense unstoppable. The Lions stopped the Lions offense in that last game. I mean, the more and more I looked at that box score, the more it infuriated me how that game was called on offense. It's like, I don't understand why teams are afraid to just be boring. I mean, I think that the Philadelphia Eagles can beat the Chiefs if they remember that. But I just have a feeling that we're going to get into this game where Jalen Hurts is going to throw for over 300 yards and lose. And then everyone's going to go, man, why didn't they hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley more? And I'll echo that, and I'll say, why the hell didn't you hand the ball off to Saquon Barkley more? I mean, I could understand why Ben Johnson didn't run the ball in that Washington game if they were bottling him up, and they were stopping him. You had to move away from the run. You had to move away from the run. But it wasn't that way. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs in that game was dominating on the ground. You gave him the ball 14 times? And I take it this is the DJ Moore had 58 receptions for 1,001 yards, 7 TDs. Is that Jameson? 17.3 yards a catch? Or is that DJ Moore? Because DJ Moore had a decent season, but to me, it's a mental thing, man. You can't check out like that, man. I'd be worried about that. And you got to worry about, your first round draft pick. Was he good? Is he worth it? Did you reach on him? Do I think, okay, Jameson's stats. Yeah. I mean, he was right in that pocket, right where I thought that he would be. I said under 60 receptions and he would hit over 1,000 yards. I didn't know what that was. I thought it'd be like 20 yards a catch, but I guess it's 17.3. No, they won't continue to start Gibbs over or Montgomery over Gibbs. They won't do that. Montgomery said as much in coming through. This is Jameson, or this is Gibbs' team now. And Gibbs is going to go into this entire offseason preparing like that, in my opinion. So, I want to get into the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to do, because I wanted to go through. I got an article here that had the Pride of Detroit guys. I like the Pride of Detroit guys. I think they write well. And had a positional breakdown of the signed free agent players. Of which players are signed, which ones are pending free agents, and the terms to know. Okay, I don't know. I don't want to condescend to anybody, but I'm just going to not assume that everybody just knows things. Okay? And this is one of the things. I'm not going to call you any names if you don't know anything. about these things, but I'm hoping that this will be able to help you a little bit right here. But if you didn't know, the terms of note that UFA, unrestricted free agent. So they can sign with any team during the free agency period, beginning on March the 12th. Tampering negotiations begin on the 11th. Lions can re-sign these players at any time. So what does that mean? That sounds simple enough, right? So what does that actually mean? What that means is that you got expiring contracts on your team. You know, like Ife Malafanu, right? He has an expiring contract, but according to this right here, March 12th or March 10th, they're allowed to start negotiating with those players. So that means the Lions have until March the 10th, probably a couple days before that, to be safe, because I know that they illegally tamper even though they're not supposed to. But any of those fourth-year players that we were talking about, where I called like the priority ones, like right here, like Derek Barnes, Ifeatu Melifonwu, Kevin Zeitler, Carlton Davis, Levi, and that whole list on that left-handed side, the Lions have until March 12th to re-sign any of those guys. We keep any of those guys on a team with our estimated cap space once we get that rolled over. So, there you go. Unrestricted free agents means they will have the freedom to sign with any team. Now, we can't force them to sign with us right here like we can with the restricted free agents, which means the rights are held by the Lions. So if a RFA, restricted free agent, receives a contract from another team, the Lions would then get a chance to match that offer to retain that player. So the most recent example of something like that I can think of right there is Brock Wright. So last year, Brock Wright was restricted free agent, an RFA. Now, Brock Wright got an offer for $4 million a year from the San Francisco 49ers last year. So, because he was a restricted free agent, the Lions were able to retain Brock Wright because they were able to match that offer and bring him back to the Lions. But we almost lost Brock Wright last year, and through the restricted free agent using that method, we were able to keep Brock Wright. So that's an RFA. An ERFA, that's exclusive rights free agent, are only allowed to negotiate with the Lions unless the Lions choose to let them explore in free agency. So that means that you have all of the exclusive rights. Now, if you wanted to be a nice guy and you wanted to let them go out and explore, there are some examples. I can't think of anything recent on that one. That one's not used as much, but sometimes they'll use that one. The SFA, the street free agents, are people that are under contract with an NFL team in 2024, but they're not on an active roster at season end, and they will be able to sign with any team immediately. The most common SFAs are people that were on NFL practice squads. So now we got the now that we have the end of the season, and we know, where the I'm tongue tied. The 90-man roster, it's going to expand to 90 men because they move it down to 53 for the season in your practice squad. Well, now your practice squad doesn't have to be your practice squad anymore. It's going to end up being the 90 men on the roster. So some of these guys that are the SFAs will end up being on the 90-man roster anyway. And then you got the futures contract that the deals given to the street free agents before the start of free agency, and they're called futures deals because while currently signed, these contracts don't count against the cap until a future date, which is the start of free agency, which we just talked about, which is the March the 10th. They can start negotiating. So I hope that was helpful. Those are the terms to know. There you go. Those are key terms. I don't want to take it for granted that you would know what all of those terms mean. And if you didn't, I hope that was helpful for you. So, and moving on. So this episode of Lion Villain Report is brought to you by NFL Shop. You can get your NFL Shop swag. It's not just Detroit Lions swag. Most people who watch this are Lion fans, but you can go in there if you use that link. Save up 25% off of your order from our affiliate marketing partner at NFL Shop. Boom. Yeah. Anybody watch the Royal Rumble? Anybody? All my wrestling fans up in there? All right. Let's see how we're looking right here. Let's go through position by position, and this is great. They do such a good job here with I can't say enough. Who did this right here? Is that Eric Schlitt? Eric Schlitt, kudos to you, dude. I love how you make it easy for me to practice being organized right here and be able to show you guys what they have here. But going through, each position right here. So let's go through this. So you got a quarterback. You got Jared Goff, obviously. You got 32 million cap hit. You still got 96 million in guarantees that you got to hit him up with, but he's going to be your starter. You still got Hendon Hooker costing you a bag of chips right now for the next 2 years. Continue to develop him. I mean, I look like you look at Hendon Hooker, and what I see is an investment, right? Because I don't expect Jared Goff to go anywhere. I expect him to continue to get better. He had his best season. I'm not worried about a bad game in there. I think there's a lot of things they could have done better in that game. Give up 45 points, man. It's like, that stinks. So, Hendon Hooker, you spent a 3rd round draft pick on him. And to me, anything that you're going to get in that 3rd round pick that would be better than a 3rd round pick would be a win, right? You're getting return on investment. I don't know how you guys feel about that, because it does not look like Hendon Hooker is going to take any type of meaningful snaps with the Detroit Lions. And that's okay. I mean, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. We got some people, Moonscar Blade, thinking that Gibbs is going to get more of the 60-40, 65-35 split. I agree with this right here. And we'll get into that. I should have waited on that. There you go. But the quarterback situation, the Lions are sitting right there. I don't think they'll draft anybody. I don't think we're going to be looking for anybody outside of these 3 guys. I think there is a chance that they do move Hendon Hooker this offseason. I think there's some QB needy teams, and I think that Brad Holmes is on the lookout for somebody who would overpay for our developmental piece. And like I said, anything that we can get over that 3rd round pick is going to be a win, because Jared Goff's going to be your guy. And I believe that Teddy Bridgewater did what he needed to do outside of pro football. I think it really meant something to go down there and win a state championship for his alma mater as a coach. And then he immediately came back to the NFL. So I think that he has quenched that thirst, and Bridgewater may be available here. He may end up being the quarterback's coach. I don't know. We'll end up doing, but we are all set at quarterback. Moving on, running back. Now we can talk about that. Gibbs and Montgomery are locked, and they're going to return. I mean, I don't even think that we need anybody here either. I mean, all the way down to the practice squad. We got Jahmyr Gibbs, Montgomery, Craig Reynolds under contract. Well, Craig's a restricted free agent, but that just means that we get last rights refusal off of that. Do we keep Craig Reynolds, or do we just move Sion Vaki into there? Either way, we're not. It's not crazy to think. But I think they're going to retain Craig Reynolds because it's not going to cost you that much. And maybe somebody might offer him. But if they give him the restricted agent tag, they would be able to retain him. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe they draft a running back later. Jamar Jefferson has been fine coming up from the practice squad. We might have to get another guy to go into the practice squad, but I feel that we're all set. The villain is here. The villain has decided that we are all set at running back. So there's nothing there. And going through this experiment, I want you guys to realize something, because we have a good problem here in Detroit right now. This is a good problem to have, which is there's not a lot of roster spots that are going to be available. These guys are under contract already. And there doesn't need to be a move. So that $67 million comes with not a lot of moves that need to be done. Wide receiver. And here we are. We were just talking about this. You got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jamison Williams, Khalif Raymond, and then you could have anybody past that, but I mean, really, those are just practice squad level type of guys. Maybe you bring Allen Robinson back. They seem to like him in just a teaching kind of role. He didn't play a lot of meaningful snaps, but they've talked well about how he practices and how everybody else can watch him. Maybe you bring back Tim Patrick, returning. You know, Brown, Williams, and Raymond. That should give comfort at the position. And you enter the offseason, look for ex-receiver. Again, Patrick was ideal in the role last year, and he should be one of the top priorities right there. While Robinson was valued for his leadership, could be near the end of his career, can Antoine Green take the next step and get into that mix? That's somebody that we didn't. He was about ready to take that role over. I thought that he was going to get in there and do that. And oh, there you go. I got to get your comment in there. Hold on, let me go back up here, Broski, because I like your comment. So under this right here, it said Broski says I'd lean more towards 80-20 split in favor of Gibbs. Do you ramp up or ramp down Gibbs touch? Did you ramp up or ramp down Gibbs touches closer to the end of the regular season? Well, he had to get ramped up, Broski, because Montgomery got injured for the last 4 weeks. So he was forced into greatness, and he stepped up, and that's it. And Antoine Green was a 7th-round draft pick. We've been developing him for a couple of years. He was probably going to be in the wide receiver 3 role before he got injured in training camp. Going into his I think it's his 3rd year. This will be his 4th year. Late round draft pick. You know, he had a shot in there, but we ended up bringing in Patrick. I'd rather see them bring in Patrick, but it wouldn't hurt my feelings because if they put Antoine Green in that spot, it means that he did something well. So that's all good right there. But I like your 80-20 split. That would mean that you're relegating David Montgomery more to a 3rd down back, which I don't mind that, especially if you're going to throw in Montgomery at the end of the game, put his 20%, put 15 of his 20% on, one of the bone-crushing 4th quarter drives when they haven't seen Montgomery all day and they're sick of chasing down Gibbs. All of a sudden, you get Montgomery to close you out. Yeah, Broski. We need Broski coaching the Lions. Maybe he'll turn on the Bears like Benedict Johnson. All right, let's get in here. Got that wide receiver. I like our wide receiver depth. I don't mind if they go and draft somebody or maybe pick up somebody like that, but really, I think that you want continuity. I think Tim Patrick got that for you. You re-sign him. You give him a whole offseason to work with the offense. I think that he could even be better. I mean, he only had like 300 yards receiving, but, you're a 3rd wide receiver. You're not going to get thousands of yards, especially when you already have 2 1,000-yard receivers. And to me, I want to see this offense gear more towards having 2 wide receivers out there, big lineups, couple tight ends. I like Brock Wright is such a good blocker, man, and underrated blocker. And getting Laporta, he's getting a lot better at blocking. Getting our big formations out there, running pass plays out of that 2 tight end formation. I really do believe that's our strongest setup. I think Brock Wright is better as a wide receiver 3 than Tim Patrick is. I like Brock Wright as a tight end. I think he could go start for 20 teams in the NFL. That he's that good. But that's just my villain opinion. But I think that's a good opinion right there. And then tight end. Here we are. Tight end. You got Sam Laporta, Brock Wright, Shane Zylstra. Shane Zylstra's a restricted free agent. I mean, you're going to be able to get him back through the practice squad probably. We'll have to see about that. You could probably draft a tight end. You need somebody to depth that out. Maybe you pick up a blocking tight end. You're definitely not going to need to spend a ton of money on it because you already got 2 very good tight ends. But you could probably draft one right there. So offensive tackle. Let's move on there. Offensive tackle. We're set, man. We're signed through 2027 right there with Taylor Decker, Penei Sewell. Taylor Decker did have a down year. I don't know if it has to do with age or whatever, but even Penei Sewell had a down year for Penei Sewell anyway. You got Colby Sorsdahl. You've been developing him. You've been developing Giovanni Manu. I don't know if he'll be ready by this season, but they said that he's progressing really, really nice. And you can't teach what he has. Giovanni Manu. That's depth in there. Colby Sorsdahl. Dan Skipper. You could probably always have him right there. And you have been developing Jamarco Jones. You're not going to make too much out of that. But we got depth at the tackle position, and you have players in the oven that you're developing in Colby Sorsdahl, Giovanni Manu. So I like where you're at right there. Interior offensive line. You got Frank Ragnow. Frank the Tank. Kevin Zeitler is an unrestricted free agent. That should be a top priority right there. You definitely want to try to keep this line together. You want to keep that line together. Graham Glasgow, he signed through 2026. Ragnow will probably just play out his contract and probably maybe he'll retire. I don't know. This guy's a beast. Give me Frank the Tank as long as he wants to be there. And you got some guys that you're developing that you really like. Christian Mahogany came in and, I mean, both games he played in, he was the best offensive lineman on the field. And that is a very good compliment right there, because there were other players that played well, but he played exceptionally well. Future looks good there. 6th-round draft pick for Mahogany. Coyote Awasika, that's a good reserve piece right there. He's a restricted free agent. I could see them bringing him back for a bag of chips. But I really like Christian Mahogany because Awasika started the NFC Championship last year because of injury, right? And Awasika was here, and they chose Mahogany to play in that playoff game, which means that Mahogany has most definitely passed him on the depth chart, because you're not going to start him in a playoff game without him winning that job. So, yeah, the future looks real good right there. I still see them. You can't have too many offensive linemen. You go into the draft, you might see them take another interior guy. You can usually get starter quality guys in the 3rd, 4th round. They'll probably be looking at that. So there's the offensive guards looking good right there. But Kevin Zeitler, you definitely want to re-sign him. I think that would be awesome to see Kevin Zeitler and Mahogany be the starters, and Graham Glasgow, already under contract, would be your first depth piece where he can back up the left guard, right guard, or center piece. So, wow. Nice work by Brad Holmes on the offensive line. The interior defensive line. This is probably, now you're going to see where we really need some help right here. So you like what you got here. You got Aleem McNeil, DJ Reader, Makai Wingo, and that's it. Like, I'm not. Do you re-sign Levi Onwuzurike? Pat O'Connor, that's somebody that could probably be here. You could probably get him. You got Broderick Martin that you've been developing. There's something about those 3rd-year players. He's going to go into his 3rd year. We'll see if that holds true to him as well, because we got somewhat of a breakout out of Levi Onwuzurike this year. I mean, really, you want a 2nd-round pick to be a front-end starter eventually, and that's not what Levi was. But if they want to bring back Levi and he doesn't want to break the bank, I think that's a good piece. He worked really hard to get back. That would be okay. But we got to draft somebody here. You want a young piece. You want to use your 1st or 2nd round pick right here and get one of these studs. Get one of these studs. I'm wondering if there's a delay. I thought I was just talking about how the interior line is a priority to draft, and then you type in, broski, that the things that I know. And by the way, the latest thing that we got on McNeil, 9 months puts him right at the beginning of September or October. Is that 9-month spot. TJ Hawkinson was back by week 7, and he got injured in week 18. So what they're saying is that he has a chance to be back towards the beginning of the season, to where he will play more of the season than he doesn't. That's where they're at with McNeil, but he probably won't be there at the beginning of the season. DJ Reader is in the final year of his contract, but he was still playing at a high level, broski. I get that it needs to be a priority, but It's not a priority to the point where DJ Reader isn't a guy that can be out there. Yeah, he's on the other side of 30. You definitely have to get on the other side of that. You definitely want to draft a player there. I like Broderick Martin. I like him as a developmental piece. With McNeil coming off injury, Reader being in a contract year, Onwuzurike, O'Connor, the free agents, they do have a lot of work to do on the defensive line. Onwuzurike, I mean, it's the injury history. That's the only concern. That's the only concern right there with Levi Onwuzurike. But no, we definitely need to invest a piece or two, maybe use a free agent, one of the free agent things. Later, broski. Use that on, a free agent piece or one of the draft. Get some more, but one or two guys, man. I would love to see them get a couple guys in there. Get this fan base all excited. All right, edge rushers. Oh, man, here, what a mess. Here, I mean, one or two of these guys we could draft. I would love to see them wash their hands of some of these guys and just let's get some different bodies in here. I would love to see the Marcus Davenport experiment be over. We don't have a lot of roster spots on this team because as far as defensive ends go, Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal, Zadarius Smith, and Isaac Ukwu are all here. That's 5 players. So we do definitely need to bring in 2 high-end guys. And that's the beautiful thing about this roster, man. I expect them to bring back somebody like, Muhammad or Kaminsky in there too, at even more depth. And then they're going to draft a couple players too. So the dire need edge, I'm not gonna go there. I'm not gonna undersell Josh Pascal being a good run set edge setter to come in reserve. I don't want him as my starter, but as a key reserve piece, I don't mind Josh Pascal at all. I mean, this is the 4th year of his contract. We're not even talking about where or when he's drafted anymore. Can you play football for this team? That's it. Hutchinson's on track to return in full for next season. He's got a bionic leg now. It's made out of adamantium, the same shit that Wolverine's claws are made out of. See what I did there? The Wolverine claws. There you go. On track. But who is going to start opposite of him? Pascal and Smith finished the season as starters, but the Lions most likely want pass rushing options. I like Smith and Hutchinson. That's a great 1-2 combo, but, you got to get that next man. I mean, the awesome thing is like, no matter where they draft him, even if they drafted somebody in the top 10, they traded up, got, one of the best pass rushers out. It doesn't mean that he's going to go out there and start day one. Lions roster's loaded. You can take the best pass rusher in this upcoming draft, and he ain't guaranteed to start over Zadarius Smith. Zadarius Smith is a pro, baby. So the Lions do have 2 good starting defensive ends along with Josh Pascal. There's a little bit of depth. Let's draft 1 or 2 of these guys. Let's pick up a high-end one in free agency, and then let's friggin' go. Linebackers. Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, baby. Let's frickin' go. Malcolm Rodriguez, let's frickin' go. Trevor Nowaski. We got Anthony Pittman on a restricted deal. And then, all those other guys are just guys. I mean, Ben Nemo was pretty good. Turner was okay. But these are just practice squad level guys. So we got Rodriguez, Jack Campbell, and Alex Anzalone. The starters, you're looking good there. You like that. You got to decide.
Playoffs?
You like that? You got to decide whether you want to pick up Derek Barnes' contract here. And you want to re-sign Derek Barnes. Other than that, you got to replace the production. You either got to re-sign Derek Barnes, or you got to go into free agency and get yourself a linebacker. Which is there's plenty of money to do that. You can use draft capital. Like I said, you'll probably double dip on that. Get one in free agency and get one in the draft. At edge rusher, get one in free agency, get two in the draft. At cornerback, you put some resources into that. Now, as much as Lion fans love to do this, they'll be like, well, Terrion isn't it? And they act like that's not a player on the team. It fills the hole. They're not going to get rid of Terrion Arnold. They're not going to get rid of Amik Robertson. They're not going to get rid of Ennis Rakestraw. But everybody else, I mean, you could overhaul that. They have half the cornerbacks from 2024 under contract. And that's a good thing, man. You got two quality guys, and then you got a guy you're developing in Ennis Rakestraw. And then you could bring any of those other guys back, They're probably going to bring back Vildor. Damn it. No. Khalil Dorsey. They can make room on there or not. I mean, Dorsey's good special returner guy. But no, I see them going into free agency, getting some defenders that may, maybe had more experience with, the defensive guys that they brought in, and in the coaching right there. But no, you can always draft cornerbacks. You need to draft cornerbacks. You need to restock that up. I'd love to see them bring back Carlton Davis. So, you got money on the contract that you're going to have to pay anyway. So you might as well work that contract out. I would do a 2-year deal with Carlton Davis. One that is a guaranteed one that you can get out of at the end of the first year. Throw in some of that money. And then safety. Look at that. Love it. Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph. That may be the best safety duo in the NFL right there. You got to decide whether you want to bring back Giffy. You got to decide. I mean, you can't, any of these things to me are none of these are 100% slam dunk top priorities. When I say priority free agent, I think that might be a stretch. But those are the guys that I would want to sign the most out of that if you can get it, the price done right. I could throw Tim Patrick on that list. Just going top to bottom. Marcus Davenport, no. John Comiskey, maybe. He's good piece. Mosley, no. I'm done with those. Khalil Dorsey, yes. Vildor, no. Badgley, no. Kyle Pecco, no. He'll probably go to New England with Terrell Williams. Teddy, yeah. Allen Robinson, yeah. Practice squad like he did Tim Patrick, yeah. Muhammad, yeah. Neiman, yeah. Everybody else, I mean, yeah, there you go. And then the other ones, it could be, yeah, no. I mean, you got good roster guys right there that can fill the back end. That's going to be better than, just finding people off the trash heap, because these guys know your system. So that's what I like about those. But when you're looking at the safety, yeah, you can draft a safety. You can put safety on that priority list, because they may look at it like, here's cornerbacks. They may look at Ennis Rakestraw as like a beast. You don't know what these guys, especially the ones that have been practicing and not playing. They're just because they can't crack the lineup with, Branch and Kirby Joseph always in front of them, Ifatu always in front of them. For right now, you're learning. You're learning on the job. Ennis Rakestraw is a rookie. Your job is to learn mostly. The Terrion Arnold, that's a rarity. That's going to be a rarity for the Lions going forward. And when I say a rarity, meaning a starting rookie. It's like, oh, wow, the Lions, all these guys. Like, we've gotten so used to having starting rookies that we think that it's like this thing that should happen. You want players to develop, and if a rookie's ready, a rookie's ready. I get that. I'm not trying to say that no rookies make the world go around, right? But the days of some rookie having to come, oh man, he's got to come in day one. He's gonna have to do it. And nobody's gonna do that at any position. I look at every single one of these spots, and I'll challenge you to look at that. Let's go back up through that. Let's really look at this. You look at this again, and then it becomes more obvious to you. This is something that's been blowing my mind all off season. When you look at that, usually when you have a draft, you're like, oh, God, we need this guy. And you're hoping that this dude's going to come right in day one, right? Not anymore. Not anymore. You're going to draft a quarterback that's going to start over Goff? No. You're going to draft a running back that's going to start over Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery? No. You're going to draft a wide receiver that's going to start in front of Jamison Williams or Amon-Ra St. Brown? No. You're going to draft a tight end that's going to start before Sam Laporta or Brock Wright? No. You're going to get a tackle that's going to start before Penei Sewell or Taylor Decker? No. Anybody that would start before Frank Ragnow or Mahogany or Zeitler? No. And even on the D-line. Yeah. Right here's a spot. Here is an opportunity. A player could come in and start before DJ Reader, and now Aleem's injured, so it would be starting before DJ Reader and Broderick Martin? Maybe. Right there. A possible. This interior defensive line is a possible rookie starter. We went through the entire offense. There's not one spot that a rookie is going to crack. Not one spot. Bet it. I bet it. I'll take it. Anybody want to take that bet with me? 0 rookie starters on the offense. Now, you might get a rookie starter on the interior defensive line, but only because Aleem McNeil's injured. If it wasn't, it would be DJ Reader and Aleem McNeil, sit-down rookie. But because of injury, you could have that. And Aiden Hutchinson. Oh, here's the other one. The edge rusher. You could have a starter come in, but maybe not. Really. Are you going to have a starting defensive end that's going to start in front of Aiden Hutchinson and Zadarius Smith? Or even Josh Pascal? Maybe Josh Pascal. Maybe the top reserve. But no, you are not going to draft a starting edge rusher, even if you pick one in the top 10 and get the best one. He ain't starting in front of Hutchinson. It don't matter what rookie you have in this draft. You bring in Mike Green, he ain't starting in front of Zadarius Smith. Not week 1. Maybe week 4. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So only defensive tackle so far. I'm not even going to say that on edge rusher. You will not draft a starting edge rusher. You may draft an edge rusher that may be the starter by the end of the season, but they're not starting in front of Zadarius Smith or Aiden Hutchinson. All right, linebackers. Alex Anzalone, Jack Campbell, Malcolm Rodriguez. No rookie's going to start in front of those guys. If you draft a linebacker, he's trying to get a reserve spot, depending on how many of these guys we bring back. We could bring back our entire reserve right there. Would he start in front of Trevor Nowaski or Ben Neiman? I don't know, maybe. But those guys aren't even the starters. So no, linebacker is a no. Cornerback. Would you get a starting cornerback? Well, that depends. If you bring back, no, you wouldn't. Because even if your starting cornerbacks are Terrion Arnold and Amik Robertson, and you don't bring back Carlton Davis, the rookie cornerback is not starting. You have to jump Ennis Rakestraw, who's already been developing in the system for a whole year. Khalil Dorsey, who's already been developing for 2 years. Now, I know Kelvin Shepard's a new defensive coordinator, but he was here too. So cornerback would be no. Safety. You're gonna draft a safety that's gonna jump Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph? Nope. So no on safety. Jack Fox, Jake Bates. You're gonna draft a rookie? Nope, nope, and nope. So going through the entire roster with available spots, the Lions might be able to draft a starting defensive tackle. Outside of that, they ain't going to be starting year 1 because our team is deep. How you like that for a take? You like that take? Yeah, I don't know why people don't comment. You guys comment. Are you guys listening to what I'm saying? I think I'm spitting fire right here. I think I'm dead balls on accurate when it comes to what I was just talking about. We got $67 million, and this would be a lot of cap space for somebody that had a lot of holes. We don't have a lot of holes. Like I said, you could draft without picking up any players. You probably won't be able to crack the starting lineup as a rookie without adding any players, without re-signing anybody, without bringing back Carlton Davis, Derek, any of those players. You're not going to start at linebacker. You're not going to start anywhere. Maybe you might start at defensive tackle if you can get in there ahead of Broderick Martin. It's good stuff, man. Ooh. Oh, we've been talking about a lot of stuff today. There's been a Lion Villain report. We talked a little bit about, in review, a little bit about Patrick Mahomes being the GOAT. He's the boogeyman. He's the one that everybody's got to beat. We shouldn't be making fun of each other here in the NFC North because at the end of the day, you're trying to build a roster that can beat him, and he is him, and he may even be getting referee help or whatever. We talked about the whole roster, breaking it down. Why are we so confident that we can overcome losses of both coordinators? I think I just went over that and I explained it very well. You're not going to be able to start. He has drafted such a good roster that this is a draft that I don't think that Brad Holmes can draft a starter. Not week 1. We'll have to see about that. But broadcasting live, make sure you go over and give us a like over at the Facebook page at Lions Villain Squad. Go give us a subscribe over at the YouTube page at Lions Villain Squad. This show will be brought to you by the NFL Shop. Get that swag. Hit that QR code. Use that link. Save up 25% off of your order from our affiliate marketing partner. I want to thank everybody for watching the program today and joining me. I like this Monday, Wednesday, Friday thing during the off season. I think I'm going to stick to it. Be here on Wednesday, talking some of that football, being part of our little community of villains. We appreciate you. Thank you, Henry Gray. Thank you, Jay-Z. Thank you, Mark G. and John and Barry. Moon Scarblade, Broski, Henry Gray. Oh, why do we do this? I give the glory to God. I get to do this. Thank you, Lord, for giving me a way to support my family, doing something I love to do, talking football. Thank you, Lord. Get the faith, family, and then football. I give you the glory. It's in that order. We use football. I use football. Create a memory. Spend some time with your family, but put God first. Thank you, everybody, for joining the show. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again in Jesus' name. Amen. That's going to be on Wednesday. Going to see you on Wednesday. Unless something crazy happens today where I have to come in tomorrow and report it, I will see you on Wednesday for the Lion Villain Report. God bless you. Peace out.
Hey, yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto.